Hey, this is Johnny here. I just wanted to go over today the different piercing techniques and the different equipment that we use for that. So first, to introduce you, this is a catheter needle. It's a little bit unique because it's got a plastic sleeve, and notice it's in its own self-contained container with a lot number. Next, we're going to show you is a standard piercing needle. They come pre-packaged and with a lot number and are sterilized as well. And then this is something a lot of people might recognize. This is a piercing gun. There are different forms of it, but they all basically work on the same principle. This is the end that is used for a piercing gun. It's actually the jewelry itself, and then that pointy part on the tip is what goes through your ear. They do have a backing. It's generally referred to as a butterfly clip. Has a butterfly backing. Those two ends clip together and that holds it in place. Now what I'm going to do is show you the types of jewelry that we use for a standard piercing. This is a compression fitting. It's a circular ring with a ball with notches in it, and that holds it together, the compression on that ball. Now for a catheter needle, generally we use a labret, and this is an internally threaded labret. It has a post, it's the back end, and then it has the jewelry which actually has the threads on it, and then that screws into the post. The compression fitting is made out of surgical steel, and the labret is made out of titanium, implant grade titanium. Generally, the gun also uses surgical steel as well. So again, gun, standard needle, and then the catheter needle. This is fake skin. We use this for tattooing. You tattoo on it to replicate how the ink goes into someone's skin. And we're going to use it today to pierce with our varying different types of piercing methods. I'm going to load the piercing gun here with the jewelry. And again, like I said, the end of it is the part that actually goes in. It's a little bit tricky to kind of put in here, but you drop the butterfly clip into the end of the gun, and then that's the receiving part of the needle. Now, just gonna click here. It does make a pretty loud bang. I did take the volume out because to do a voiceover, but that's what it looks like here. The jewelry goes through the skin, and then you have the butterfly backing on the end. Now we're going to show you the piercing needle. This is again our standard piercing needle. If you notice, it's maybe a little hard to tell, but it is curved, and they are hollow as well. So it's really sharp, like a scalpel, and it has a hollow inside. So when it goes through, it actually goes through and then removes a part of the skin. And unlike the gun when it goes through, it just punches a hole through, kind of like hammering a nail into a piece of wood. So the difference is it being hollow, it's like a drilling a hole to put something in, and then we slide. It's got a little notch on the back. We slide the jewelry in, and then when we pull it through, it doesn't snag on the skin. So this is a compression fitting again. We have a little ball. It slides right in there. Most people that have gotten a piercing from a tattoo parlor or a professional piercer should recognize that type of piercing. The other kind, like from the gun, is generally what you're going to get from a jewelry store or a big box store, something like Claire's or Walmart. Now, this is what I prefer to use. It's a catheter needle. Again, notice how with the piercing needle and the catheter needle, they all come self-contained and they're already sterilized. So you have to break the packaging to open up the needle. Generally with a gun, they are not sterilized, and the parts of it can't really be sterilized because the gun itself is quite large, generally made out of plastic, not easily autoclavable. So the catheter needle is nice because it has a little plastic sleeve that it leaves in after you've pierced it. So you just pierce through, and then you can pull the needle itself out, and it leaves a plastic sleeve. I really like this for kids and stuff. If you pierce them, then you can pull the needle out really quick, and then if they need to, sometimes reaction-wise, they grab it, and there's nothing sharp in there. Now, it's got a little end, and then you stick the librette in the end, and it sits right inside that sleeve. That way, when you're pulling it through, again, nothing's going to snag on the skin, and the plastic sleeve itself is lubricated, so it makes it really easy. So now we have that through there. Now we're going to just take again, it's internally threaded, so we're taking the threaded part. So again, there's no threads touching the skin, nothing that's going to cause a larger wound, making it much better for healing. And then there's all three together. Also, if you notice, the librette and the compression are much smoother. There's not many parts that stuff can get stuck in, but the butterfly clip, there's lots of little spots that dirt and things can build up in, especially crust. But the other two are much easier to kind of clean. You can see nothing can really get stuck around them. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you by taking them apart. They all come apart pretty easy. Again, the internally threaded jewelry, just unscrew and pull out. And now what we're going to do is take out the compression ball, and then you do unscrew that, or just not unscrew it, you just pull it through. There is a special tool to open those up if the area is a little bit too tight, and then the butterfly clip unclips there. Now, if you look up close, you can kind of see the wound that each one would make. You can see on the right is the butterfly clip, the middle, the standard jewelry, and then our standard piercing needle, and then the catheter needle. I'm going to have a little still picture so it's a little bit easier to see, because it's hard to see, but you can see how the butterfly, or the gun, the hole is very closed up. So it just punches, moves the skin out of the way, where the other two leave nice, perfect holes so that it creates a nice, even wound channel, and then it heals kind of like the inside of a tunnel. Now you can kind of see a little bit of the skin, the fake skin inside the needle, and that's because it removes a little section as it comes through. Same thing with the catheter needle. They're both hollow, and they have a part where they take a piece of the skin with it. Now if you notice, I can't touch the end of the two needles, but I can touch the end of the one with the gun. It is pretty dull, so it's not going to hurt me or anything like that. Now just to show you the gun itself, they're not the best. The problem is that, again, it can't be autoclaved and it's not sterile. So with the needles, I can throw the needles into a sharps container. That's why I don't recommend the gun. The gun can't be sterilized, so it is not safe for use. Now, also not the best for piercing. In the right hand side, gun, left catheter needle, middle regular piercing, and here's what it looks like from behind. And notice the gun is a little bit squished in. So thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, let me know, and please hit the like or subscribe.